Hello you guys, and welcome to the Classroom Minimalism Challenge. Today is day 4 and we're going to be talking about how to minimalize and simplify your shelves. And I'll take a look at mine here in a moment because mine have a lot of stuff on them right now. Earlier this week we've decluttered my desk, decluttered my filing cabinet, and just yesterday decluttering surfaces in the room. So moving on to shelves, my shelving organization so far has been pretty limited and I don't really have an effective system yet. So I am going to show you. I've got shelving all along this wall here with windows, so I'm very lucky. You can see a lot of the shelving over here. I'm very lucky to have that space, and I know for myself it's easy for things to just kind of pile up and not really be dealt with. So that is my focus right now. In this video, I'll give you guys a quick tour of my shelves, show what I'm doing to fix them, and then of course show you the final product at the end with hopes that this can help you simplify your classroom. Whether this is the first video you're watching from this Classroom Minimalism series or maybe you've seen all of them, I am putting together a little printable free download from my Teachers Pay Teachers store that has a checklist of some of the main ideas I've talked about. So if you want to kind of simplify it, or you just want like a printable that you can use to help you as you're decluttering your classroom, that will be there for you. So check out the description field of the video if you want the printable that's on my Teachers Pay Teachers store for free. Let's get started. Here's a tour. This is where I keep the Spanish books at the start of the year, but obviously the kids all have those right now. Here we have our social studies textbooks. The students do not keep these. I've got them here if students use them, but we genuinely don't use the books enough that it seems worth it to have each student have a copy. On these two shelves, these are some books that I have, just kind of reference books or travel books. These are here if people need a book to read during class, although to be honest, with having Chromebooks, they're not usually as interested in reading, so I might try to jazz this up a bit later on. We'll see. I keep some extra spare Spanish textbooks here that people can borrow, and then I generally don't know what's on that shelf with all the paper there. I think a little bit is scratch paper, but not all of it. Here's another case where things are kind of a mess. I don't really know what's here, to be honest, so that will be a fun surprise. I did add some of the stuff here yesterday. This shelf has a lot of the binders that were behind my desk. Now that area is nice and open. A lot of the binders went here. I also put a bunch of the CDs here that came with the book materials on this shelf, as well as a couple other random things. I didn't really fully organize this stuff yet. I still have to kind of decide. Some of these like officially book like licensed materials I will hold on to just because, you know, that's for each teacher to make their own choice of what they use. But yeah, I'll see if that's the most effective place. Here I just have some extra bags, reusable bag. This is my large laptop bag. There's a smaller bag in here for a Chromebook, but I don't really need all those. It looks kind of junky right there. And then this section, the movies I kind of threw in at the last minute, I need a better spot for them. But these are all different social studies resources. And then over here, despite the National Geographics, I have Spanish resources here mostly. There are some social studies things though, so that could be something I adjust today. Down here is a little junky at the moment. I don't know what's in there. Also some more stuff here that I don't know what it is. And then some other random stuff. I have this mug I use sometimes, but I don't really drink tea as much while I'm here. A few like crafty things, a few other miscellaneous items. Really, that's all I have on the shelf. So there you go. So as you guys can see, there's definitely a lot of stuff here to deal with. And I think really the only thing we can do, as we've done with all the other stuff, take everything out, figure out what I have, and then figure out what my needs are for shelving. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna blast some music. Well, not blast it. I'm gonna play some music and I'll check in with you guys after I've unloaded and organized the stuff. Alright, so I've emptied out all of my shelves now and have this lovely pile on the floor. This is all the stuff that was in those shelves. It definitely is a bit of a mess, so I think right now I'm going to kind of plan out what items I'm going to group together and then decide how to best organize it. None of it's things that I use super regularly. I feel like my desk is more so the place for that, or things on the surfaces, but I'm going to sort through all this other stuff. I have now had the chance to reflect a bit about what kinds of things I want on this particular shelf. I'm going one at a time, and so I did add an extra shelf in using these plastic pieces along the side. So I now have 4 shelves there, pretty narrow ones. And so to keep it organized, these will be things that I want to just stay kind of protected here behind the desk. On the top shelf, I'm going to put the students' comparative timelines. I hold on to those for them, and they're in the brown bin over there, but I think that's just as good of a place, and I can use that bin more for something else then. I'm going to keep all my cardstock and construction paper in one place. That will be the second shelf. And then I will have some DBQ student growth files. This year for my student growth, I've been keeping track of one of the classes' DBQs and like have printed copies and stuff of those. So I'm going to keep those on one specific shelf. And finally at the bottom, since it's kind of challenging to reach location, I will keep my computer cases there. So that's my plan for this first shelf. So I've now completed these shelves. It's a lot better I decided to put my comparative timelines and the DBQ records up top, and then 2 areas for cardstock. The atlas there, that's actually an old atlas I use if I want like map paper for cardstock or construction paper, and then down below keeping those extra laptop cases there. As I was sorting through the different files, I noticed these were taking up a whole shelf. So I was curious what they were. And inside the box, there was a lot of wasted space. 3 of them have VHSs, which honestly, thing of the past here. So I'm gonna donate these VHSs, even though I'm not sure really if anyone wants them, but I will donate them. And then there was 1 DVD, so I may investigate this one, but I will get rid of these boxes because they are of no use. Next up, I do have 3 shelves on the bottom. So I'm going to put extra teacher and PD materials here from different workshops. I'm going to put some extra school supplies right here. And I'm going to keep this kind of consistent with the CDs here about multimedia. So I'm going to put my DVDs and then just other informational texts and readings and magazines and that sort of thing. All right, I am very happy to report that we have finished the shelving. Let me show you what I did. So as I showed you before, you already saw these shelves. So this one's probably my most junky, but basically all those teacher related files with different PD workshops. There's also some papers that I still need to go through from like my past school, but want to at some point, so I've got that down there. This section is some extra school supply type materials. This is a multimedia section with DVDs and then some different like interactive books and magazines. This right now is kind of just an in transit. I will be spreading out the books over here a bit more. And then this is just scratch paper. So we have 3 empty shelves at the moment over here. While I was doing this, I also found some things to declutter in addition to what I've already showed. I do have this like puzzle game here, but since I only have 1, and also since the students have Chromebooks, and there's, endless options of things they can be doing there, I don't really see this being used much, so I am either gonna see if Jake wants it or donate it. Also in this process, I realized some things I'd kind of forgotten about. I had this jar with marbles in it that was given to me as a gift from a mentor back when I was student teaching, and I really hadn't considered using it. I did try using it at my first job, and since I taught 4 different grade levels, there wasn't the same kind of competitive atmosphere. But since I have done like different competition type things between the classes, this could definitely be a good thing to implement, especially since I only do teach 4 different classes, like not 4 different preps, but 4 of the same class. I have 4 sections of it. So yeah, I'm happy I saw this because I was just reflecting a little bit about for next year, and I think I'm gonna incorporate it. So I am going to keep it in my closets for now, just to keep it safe and out of the way, but then we'll be good to go. So this concludes part 4 of our Classroom Minimalism Challenge, all focused on organizing and decluttering shelving. So we're moving right along. We just have 1 more left that will be posted tomorrow related to the cabinet. If you are interested, you can check out the PDF in the description field below. and be able to get access to a simplified checklist for yourself as you complete this decluttering challenge yourself. And you can check out some of my past videos here that I did earlier in the challenge, as well as subscribing to the channel up here if you guys are new. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.